Welcome back to my channel. I'm Traven. These are my tomes.
Some of them are mine.
Yes, it is not about me this month. It is about your tomes. We did a TBR swap last month, and now this is the wrap-up video. We'll see if I finished all of them, and we'll talk about my thoughts. Let's talk about it.
And see if you destroyed my soul.
Let's talk about it. If you didn't catch the video last month, we did a TBR swap for March, which we called March Madness. In the spirit of that theme, I did create a page in my journal that is basketball themed. My thoughts on all of the books that I finished.
Spoilers.
Yeah, if they can read quickly or pause the video.
Which they totally can.
We had 3 books, 3 manga, 3 graphic novels that we each swapped. I was able to finish everything before the end of the month. I didn't get very far in reading more of Nightwing. Like I said, I was going to.
In your bonus challenge.
My bonus challenge of reading Nightwing. I only got like 2 volumes past what I had read last time, which was the first volume. So I'm on volume 3 now. Volume 4, actually. So,
well, it's really volume 3.
Yeah, because I had the crossover.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to try to tackle this in the same order that we introduced them in the last video.
Should I introduce myself?
I suppose so.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and my channel is Amanda Should Be Reading. And last month, I gave him 9 books to read.
The first title we have is The Undead Fox of Deadwood Forest. This is a YA...
I'd say
young reader.
Middle grade, probably.
Middle grade? Okay, this is a middle grade book.
Middle grade, younger YA.
About a fox that is like the guide for spirits who are passing through this forest. They go one of 4 directions. I gave this one 4 out of 5.
I gave it 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I could see why. I could see that. I definitely think that the main character was cute, but also like there were points in the book that had a lot of like heavier themes, and I think it all was handled very well.
Yeah, I think it does. It handles a lot of heavier subject matter in a way that children can still, that doesn't talk down to kids or the younger readers who are reading this. It doesn't talk down to them. It approaches those things in a very accessible way to deal with the emotions and the hard things that are going on. Yeah. And I liked it a lot.
I also really liked the narrator in this book.
The narrator was one of my favorite things about it.
Because it's one of these books that has like the narrator as a character. And that's one of the things that I praise some other authors. Who's the one who does My Friends and Ancient
Frederick Bachman.
Frederick Bachman. So that's something I've praised Frederick Bachman for in the past.
Yeah,
is having those,
I like a voicey narrator.
Those characters that are the narrators who are a character.
They have their own voice.
They have their own voice, even if they're not a character in the story.
Yeah.
As far as my notes here, I might be repeating myself a bit. I said cozy in the sense that it's a very personal narrative. Love the narrator's voice. World building was simple but effective. I didn't like the kids coming in randomly to mess things up. And the reveal of what his predecessor said was obvious immediately, but it's for kids. Yeah, so there was this thing that like they kind of dragged on.
I still feel that it's a misunderstanding that you can understand someone in a great amount of stress making.
Sure.
Which is kind of what you have to believe it to be.
Right.
You have to believe that is completely wrong, but I understand how he misunderstood that so badly.
Right. So it falls somewhere. It's under Dresden Files number 2. Dresden Files number 2 is the worst example of the obvious thing that the character should definitely have figured out ages ago, and we have to keep on dragging it out and keep talking about it. So this did better than that for sure.
Like a lot better than that.
A lot better, yeah.
You bring up the worst possible example, and like, well, this is better than the worst thing I can think of.
It is better than the worst thing you can think of. There's no accounting for taste, so and that was one aspect I did not care for, but the rest of it I really did enjoy. So, am I destroying your soul?
A little bit. I really like this one. I would recommend this one widely.
I mean, I'd recommend it too. I probably wouldn't recommend it to everybody. it is middle grade, so there are a good number of our friends that I don't think would pick it up. But like I'd get a copy for my classroom for sure. It'd be good.
And I really like the art, the chapter art.
Oh yeah,
I really like that as well. I thought that added a lot to the story.
Yeah. So good. 4 stars. Good pick.
Good. I'm glad you mostly liked it.
Yeah. The never-ending story.
How did I get roped into holding all the books? I had to hold the books in the other one too.
We're gonna start with my notes this time. I said I love the loose, creative storytelling in the book. Makes me want to start down the road of 80s dark fantasy, like Easy Cat has been doing.
Easy Cat.
And I can't think of a higher praise than I want to read a whole genre because of this book. Bastion still kind of sucks.
Do you want to say what you gave this book?
I gave this book 5 stars.
I'm pretty sure I gave this one 5 stars too. It's been a really long time since I've read it.
Yeah.
I would guess that I gave it 5 stars.
So yeah, what I mean by loose storytelling is like it's very free, but also very because of like the free form narrative. It's also very loose. Like they just kind of jump from adventure to adventure, and they're like, oh, look at this crazy idea that we have for this like forest that grows overnight and then becomes a desert during the day.
Almost like episodic adventures.
Yeah. I'm currently playing a lot of Slay the Spire 2, and Slay the Spire 2 reminds me of this, and it's like, because it's like a roguelike, right? So you go through it, and every time you go through, there's different little adventures you find, and different little crazy creatures. It feels very much like that, where it is... There is a joining narrative, which is like Bastion's arc throughout Fantastica. But I liked it for the idea of just like having all these creative points and just being willing to just go and do the next crazy thing.
How now, because this isn't really a spoiler as it is not plot relevant, at various points in here, part of the aspect of it being a never-ending story is that when Atreyu or later Bastion leave a character, it will be like, and that was before he did this and this and this, but that's a story for another time. How many of those were you upset you couldn't read?
Yeah, so that happened a lot.
It happens a lot.
Yeah, there were definitely moments, I want to say there were 2 or 3 that I was like, I would rather, like, especially at certain points in the book, I was like, I would rather be following this character's story right now. And I definitely would want to know what happened to them,
and we never will.
Yep. And there's some like meta narrative. There's a meta narrative in here too, because he's reading a book called The Neverending Story. There's a point where you meet the person within Fantastica that has to write the story, and then they ask him to read the story, and that gets very bizarre. I heard that the author hates the movie,
which is crazy to me.
Like, I can kind of see it if their entire idea is the second half of the book and Bastion's like evolution from the point that he gets to Fantastica is completely absent. The movie just kind of like is like, oh, and then everything was great.
Well, it's a 90-minute movie. Like, you couldn't do this in 90 minutes.
Absolutely not.
So either it had to be a TV show or the movie had to cut out, and I think they did a better job cutting it in half than trying to do the whole thing out of speed run.
And it does.
And this movie means a lot to me.
Yeah, and it does. That's the only thing I can think of, because honestly, there are so many points in the first half of the book that are straight out. Like the movie.
They're just exactly that part.
Yeah. I mean the Oracle's a little bit different. But a lot of the early stuff is very similar. Maybe he was upset that Atreyu wasn't green.
He's upset Atreyu wasn't green with blue hair. Man. What were they thinking? Do you prefer the book or the movie?
Oh man, I don't know, because like the movie is a classic for me.
It's got nostalgia vibes, right?
It really got nostalgia vibes. I think, ultimately, I think the book tells a more complete story and has a better arc for Bastion, even though I don't really like him in the middle section.
You're not supposed to.
Yes, yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was just about to say.
That's what we were currently saying.
But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to compare it to the movie because like the movie's
now because I have foresight of what you gave everything. Is this your favorite thing that you read this month?
Yes, out of this one, yes.
Of the March Madness.
Of the March Madness, yeah.
Of the nonsense I gave you, is this your favorite?
I think this is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. It was consistently entertaining. It read really quickly it read really quickly in part because I knew a little bit of the story and I wanted to get
the beginning was familiar.
Yeah. I also had a bunch of time free to read it when I got to this one, so I think I read it in like 2 or 3 days. It was good.
Yeah.
Liked it a lot. Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Would recommend.
I am probably do a reread. I haven't read this one since pre-2011 because I read it in Japan when I bought it. So it's due a reread for me.
Book number 3 is The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle.
And if you were here for the TBR, then you know that if Traven dislikes this book, it will destroy my soul because this was probably my very first favorite book. So what rating did you give this book, Traven?
I gave this 4 out of 5 stars.
Yay!
All right. What I wrote down here was it is a fun mystery at sea, a good example of showing your work without it becoming annoying because it has a lot of technical jargon when it comes to like ships. Yes, it has the diagram of the ship on the back. And they talk about the different, like how you scale different parts of the ship and what you have to do to keep it, ship shape.
And how ship's time works.
Yeah. I can definitely see why this was a formative book for you, is what I also wrote that down here. Because it is pretty much entirely about female empowerment and Charlotte Doyle becoming a sailor and learning that is what she wants to do with her life. And then I was worried that the ending was going to drag because she gets back. Spoilers?
The voyage ends.
Yeah, the voyage
ends.
She gets back with her family, and I was really like, "Where is this going to go?"
Yeah, where's it going to stop?
But I think where it ended was really good and really appropriate. Had a good callback.
We had a lot of boat books because you gave me Amina Al-Sarafi.
Boat books.
And then I gave you Charlotte Doyle, so we had a lot of sailing going on.
Amina Al-Sarafi could be like the future.
Charlotte Doyle
in another world.
In another world.
It's Charlotte Doyle AU fan fiction. But no, I really liked it. I listened to a lot of this on audiobook.
Oh, was it any good?
It was alright.
Okay.
I think it was an older one. Like it definitely felt dated.
Yeah.
And there were points where they weren't talking, where you could hear like the static and like the empty the echoing
the ambient noises
of the room. Not too bad, but no, it was
not
good.
a high budget audiobook.
Not a high budget one. No, not like multiple not multiple
or someone in a sound booth.
Yeah. So I liked it though. And I think it did a good job of, I think for the time, like when was this published?
In 1990.
1990. Okay, so we're getting a lot of like progressive themes in here, not just with Charlotte Doyle, but with other characters as well. And it kind of does that thing where it's like it's set in a time period where you wouldn't expect people to be acting this way, but yeah, I thought it was good. I liked it a lot.
Historical fiction, which I think probably sparked my interest in historical fiction.
Yeah, but that's outside of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, you don't read a lot.
I don't read a lot of that. So, but for it being something that is not what I would normally pick up, I really did enjoy it, and it read easily, and I was always interested in knowing what was going to happen next, so it was good.
Avi was probably my very first favorite author, and this was probably my very first favorite book. Like, I probably had The Day Jimmy's Boat Ate the Wash was my favorite book, like picture book. Mm-hmm. But like this was probably my favorite like novel.
Yeah, I liked Hank the Cowdog. Yeah. I think they're still publishing those.
Well, I'm glad you didn't hate it.
Yeah.
You did not destroy young Amanda.
Good. I'm glad. Next up, we have Apothecary Diaries #1. And given that it's 30 and 30, we might be getting more of this.
Ooh, yay.
We'll see.
We have volume 2.
Yeah, I know. But I want more. So I gave this 4 out of 5. I think the series could be a 5 out of 5. But it's the manga thing where, like, I don't know, I haven't seen the loop or the larger story enough.
It's got a little bit of the loop in this one.
I don't know if I'm going to be on board, but I love the main character. So I wrote, I love the biting and weird main character. She runs counter to all expectations with her personality and drive. I held off on the 5-star because I don't think I've seen enough of the story loop. And I'm not sure where the story is going to go. If the Heyman skit is any indication, it's going to be a lot of characters with all their own stories.
Well, you see a little bit of that in this one. You have a couple of the courtesans and their staff, and
yeah.
So this is the story. We haven't explained what half of these books are about.
No, that's fine.
This is the story of Mao Mao, who is an apothecary who gets press ganged into service at the Capitol. And just wants to fly under the radar and get out of there.
Yeah.
But she's too smart. And so she gets recruited by this guy. Focus. To solve mysteries.
Yeah, she's also a little weirdo because
she's a little weirdo.
She to practice poisons and things, she lets snakes bite her.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh yeah, I wish. And she's into it. She's like, man, I wish I had some snakes so they could bite me. And then also the pretty boy on the back there is trying to woo her with his usual charms, and she's having none of it.
She has none of it. She's like the only one completely unaffected by his beautifulness and how charming he is. She's just like, I don't care. Yeah. I don't trust you. I want to get out of here.
And I loved all of that.
Yeah.
That was all really fun. Like I said, this has the potential to be a higher
Smiley? No.
to go higher, to be a 5-star. That's why I want to read more. But just as the volume 1, I gave it 4 stars.
And this is all I've read. I've only read volume 1, and I can't remember if I gave this one 4 or 5. I think I gave this one 5.
Okay.
But I really liked this one. I liked the characters. I liked the solving mysteries. And I don't think when I picked this up, I didn't really know she was going to be solving mysteries.
Yeah.
And I really liked that aspect, that she is having to figure stuff out and be very smart.
Right. And that's the other appeal. It is a mystery story. It sets up some weird
conflict
happening around,
event
in the castle, and then she investigates and finds out what is the truth, what's really happening. And it feels so far fairly grounded. It's very much like court intrigue.
Yeah.
But none of the explanations have been ridiculous. Mm-mm. So that's also been
I'm
good.
sure there will be a few that are pretty silly, but because with this is it's pretty long. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling a couple of them are going to get real silly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I liked it too. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Next up we have Steins Gate. Steins Gate, I gave 3 stars. Gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. I wrote, seems like what a dumb person thinks sounds smart. Clever time travel ideas alongside absolutely garbage science and hand waving. The end made me angry because the main character was willing to ruin several lives for his goal. For the thing that he wanted. So... yeah, this one was a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Back, and it's not like the first half is brilliant and the second half is terrible. It's back and forth. It swings. Yeah. It's like a pendulum. They're we invented this time machine. It works by this BS hand wavy science. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, by our super microwave.
We can only, there are limitations. We can only send a message back of this amount of data. Let's tell someone to eat more vegetables so they'll have a girl instead of a boy.
You bring up the most stupid part, yeah.
It's that's what it feels like reading it.
I don't mind that the time travel doesn't make sense. Uh-huh. Because how are you going to make time travel make sense?
Primer.
You just say it works, and you agree that okay,
Right.
these idiots somehow created time travel.
I'm on board for most of that.
And so I really like the cause and effect of most of this, of the sending messages back and what do they do. But the one you brought up made me so mad because it's not even like scientifically like grounded at all. When in a book that is on its face about a bunch of scientists
Yeah.
who should know better.
Well, and they're like, they will say things like, we don't know how it works. And then like literally 5 pages later, they'll be like, we've mastered this technology. And I'm like, you did one thing. You did one thing. You haven't mastered anything. And then later they're like, well, if we can send a message back, then we can send like it was like a memory or something back.
Yeah, something.
You can send memories back, and I'm like, where is the jump? Like the idea of like
See, that didn't bother me.
the idea of you can send a text back and it can only be like this length introduces a limitation, right? And that's an interesting.
That's very difficult to translate, by the way, because like I give them a lot of credit for trying, because you can do a lot more in a set number of characters in Japanese
Sure.
than you can in English. So translating that in a way that made sense at all must have been an absolute pain in the butt.
Yeah, I agree.
Because in Japanese, your kanji characters can like represent several syllables.
Yeah.
And in English, your letters you don't have a replacement for letters.
But my thing with it is like that's an interesting story because now you have to work within a limitation. And then later they're like, well, we'll just like convert it to memory space, and memory space is much bigger, so we can send a bigger package of memories back. And
After
I'm like,
everything else
sure.
this book had done, that didn't bother me anymore.
It bothered me. It bothered me. And like the ending, again, like spoilers.
Spoiler, yeah.
But the ending.
And this is an omnibus, so this is a spoiler for the whole thing.
Yeah. So the ending, where they have to basically undo a lot of the time travel nonsense that they've done, that was an interesting like piece. That's an interesting like thing that they have to solve. But I really didn't like how just like it was a foregone conclusion that the main character was like, yeah, I'm totally up for taking all these things that people wanted, that people risked like sending things through time to make happen. I'm going to undo all of it because like the thing that I want is not happening. And granted,
I mean, the stakes are a little higher than that. You make
Right.
it sound like he's like, I didn't get
the pizza
the
wanted,
pizza toppings I wanted, so I'm going to undo
Where's
all
my
my
pizza
friends.
party?
Someone is dying.
Uh-huh.
The stakes are much higher.
Right, and you know, to play that side, everybody else does like agree, like yes.
Yeah, but it's not like he does it against their will. They all do agree.
But he does approach them and say like, "Hey, we need to ruin everything you just did in order to save our friend."
But it's not like, hey, we need to ruin what you did. It's we need to ruin all of the stuff we did.
Yeah, but he doesn't bring them all together and say we got to undo all of it. He goes
There's
one
no
by
reason
one.
for him to, and they won't remember it.
He goes one by one.
They won't remember it.
Uh-huh.
That would have been completely nonsensical to have the argument with the whole group every time.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
So again, parts of that were fun.
Yeah.
The like going and doing the loop over and over again. I also kind of have a little issue with like the predestination aspect of that because they've shown that you can alter time, and so like this one event, this one character dying is like a fixed point. It's like fixed points in Doctor Who. It's like a
canonical events.
It's a contrivance so that
they
can say like this has to happen, right? And so that they can create the tension. The very end was interesting because it goes because the very end of the book goes all the way back to the very beginning of the book, and I thought that was very cool. But the road to get there were so many issues.
I liked how it ended, which I think is one reason that I look more fondly on this, because I did enjoy how it looped back at the end, and I thought that part was very satisfying. That solution to that part was very good. There is a sequel to this that is if they had made different decisions, if like the bad end, because this was originally a visual novel, a video game, and so it's like the bad end of what would have happened if they had gone the bad way.
Video games.
Video games.
Yep. Like When They Cry kind of thing?
Kind of, I think.
Yeah, with like the loops and the good ends, bad ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, there's another omnibus. It's called Steins Gate Zero.
And it's the bad one?
Well, it would be like the thing they prevent. Mm-hmm. The future that they prevent, it's that.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
I haven't read that one yet, so.
Okay.
Would you play the game?
Probably.
Would you read the other omnibus?
Maybe.
Okay. So 3 stars, but you'd still be willing to engage.
Yeah. All right, our next book is Stardust Family. This one I also gave 5 stars.
Yay!
And I don't want to say too much
right?
about it. So here's what I wrote. I wrote absolutely brilliant literary sci-fi story. I feel like this is the movie Coherence, and that the less you know going into it, the better the reveals are going to be. You can see certain things coming if you're paying attention, which makes it more enjoyable. So
the basic premise for this one is that we have a near future where it is now required that anyone who wants to become a parent must get a license first. You must be licensed to be a parent, and there are inspectors who go from family to family, and as part of your license exam.
They pose as children.
They're there to evaluate how you are as parents, and if you fail, you cannot be a parent. And if they give you the okay, I think that's the last part of the exam, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So if you pass that part, then you can go on to be a parent.
Yeah.
And it's about this kid who shows up at a new family, and almost immediately they're married, yeah.
They're married.
Yeah, almost immediately the husband says, "I would like you to fail us," which is not something he has encountered before. And then other things happen.
Other stuff happens.
I'm glad I hadn't spoiled anything about this for you, because I agree.
Yeah.
This is one that having the story take you along is a much better than knowing about what's going on ahead of time.
I will say it's an interesting look at the and a fairly realistic in some aspects look at like what this system would actually entail.
It's far more thoughtful than I thought it would be with this idea of the parenting license. It goes into a lot of like what that would mean in this world.
What are the logistics of this actually look like?
What are the ramifications of this, the larger ones as a culture?
People who agree and disagree with it, and the reasons why.
What happens to people who don't follow it? Yeah, it does a lot. I was not expecting it to do that much with looking at the idea.
In that regard, Witch Hat Atelier is one I've been championing a lot lately, and that part of the reason for that is because of its like nuanced portrayal of both sides of a conflict, and I feel like this is a fair depiction. Like there are legitimate reasons, legitimate good things that this is doing, and there are legitimate reasons why we shouldn't be doing this. And
on its face, it sounds like not a terrible idea, right? When you first hear that, you're like, oh, well, maybe that would prevent some problems, but it does a really good job of showing maybe unintended consequences as well.
Right. And while it does reach a conclusion, it does reach a ending that advocates for one of those. I feel like it does so even in that solution. It is kind of a bittersweet thing.
Yeah.
So, really good. But I can only talk about it in the very vaguest sense. You should check it out.
This was one I haven't heard anyone talking about, like, ever. I picked this one up as a cover buy at our Kinokuniya one time, and I had no idea if it was a psychological horror or a slice of life based on this this cover and what very little is on the back. And I would recommend this one. It's one and done. It's an omnibus one shot. I think this one's really good. I'm glad I didn't spoil anything about this for you, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
On to comic books. We are looking next at Four Kids Walk Into a Bank. On this one, I said this was incredibly funny until it isn't. It reminds me of a Coen Brothers movie.
Oh, God.
There's some fun parallelism at play with the kids and the robbers that they interact with in the story. The ending and Burger, the character Burger, stopped this from being a 5-star. I really did not like that character. You're not, again, it's one that you're not supposed to.
You didn't like Burger, but you didn't like the ending?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that when I finished reading it, I really feel like...
What did you give this one?
I gave this one 4 stars.
Okay.
I gave this one 4 stars, and it's one that I felt like when I was done reading it, I feel like on any given day, that's going to go from a 4 to a 5.
Okay.
Because...
Yeah, because you laughed a lot while reading this.
Yeah, and it really depends on my mood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I enjoy the Coen Brothers movies.
Far more than me.
I enjoy some film. I enjoy, like, The Mist that has an ending that is incredibly depressing. Like... and I will say that the ending is one that is very arresting.
Yeah.
And very...
It's not like the movie The Mist.
No,
it's not that bad.
Not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Not that bad.
But no, it's not a happily ever after.
Yeah.
Which feels more grounded. Like this story,
Right.
There was no way this story was going to end in a happily ever after. And if it had, I think it would have felt cheap.
I agree, but I feel like it's not projected in any way how dark this was going to get.
Agreed. I'm not saying that I necessarily agree with it being as dark as I felt it was, but it couldn't have ended happily.
Big difference for me, if I think about this and something like Burn After Reading, is like the surprising parts of Burn After Reading and like the shocking moments are like in the middle of the movie.
Okay.
And then the rest of it is like
dealing with
the
it?
weird comedy of errors that
of dealing with all that?
comes from dealing with that. And at the end they have that, like, what did we learn?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what I was calling back to.
Yeah. I feel like this one, it's 90% like I don't know, like almost like the Goonies or something, where it's like these kids are trying to like go against these odds, and there's a lot of like D&D type stuff going on as well. There's a lot of like goofy moments with the robbers,
But I do feel it's definitely established early on that it's definitely darker than the Goonies.
I mean, that's fair, but I still feel like the tone throughout feels lighter than what the ending gives you.
I wasn't a fan of the ending either. That was also why I didn't love this one. But I knew this is another one I picked up at Kinokuniya as a cover buy, and it just sounded very interesting. After I read it, my first thought was this would probably be more to your taste than mine.
Okay.
And I was right. It does, because it does have some of those similarities with some of that, the dark humor and the things that you tend to enjoy more than I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this one was aiming for some things that it didn't quite reach in terms of scope and tone.
I can definitely see that, yeah.
That it was aiming to get somewhere, and for me it just fell short in the end, that it didn't quite get there in terms of like the emotional impact or like the resonance of it. Even
the end feels like it's supposed to be like a poignant commentary on something, but it still has that like I said, like that Coen Brothers, like what did we learn?
Yeah.
And we don't really get a sense of that.
Yeah.
So it feels dissatisfying, even as something that is supposed to maybe end on a poignant note or a very serious note, because then it just stops.
Yeah.
And like you don't get any kind of denouement.
You get a very brief denouement.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I think I gave this one a 3-star.
Okay.
It might have been a 4-star. Again, I feel like this one, I agree with you. Depending on which parts are sticking in my mind, it could go up or down.
Right.
But yeah, when I finished this, I thought it would probably be one that you would enjoy slightly more than me.
Yeah.
And I was right.
Next up in comics, we have Zatanna and the Ripper.
Now you have to say it backwards.
No. I wrote a fun Zatanna story. I like her and her dad's relationship. The other relationships, she seemed shallow. people were accepting of time travel a little bit too quickly. I'm curious where this goes, especially because Constantine, who's on the front cover and the back cover, shows up in like the last couple of panels of the entire thing. I gave it 4 stars.
You give 4 stars, okay.
It could be 5 if like her and Constantine go on like crazy cool adventures.
They
together.
do. They definitely work together. Do they run into each other at the end of this one?
I don't even think that they've actually run across each other yet. No. I think he is investigating and she's investigating.
They're working, yeah.
Yeah, and they're working in parallel.
Yeah.
They haven't actually come together yet.
They do get together and work together, along with some other amusing characters you haven't met yet.
And that can be very fun.
This is a 4-volume webtoon that was collected.
Yeah. But like I said, there were some of these things, again, with like the hand waving for expediency, right? Like we don't have time for people to ask questions about time travel and like get bogged down in the fact that she's out of her moment in time. We just have to have all these characters who are like, cool.
And I do feel like at some point when you've seen Zatanna do actual legit magic, at some point you just go, okay, I believe whatever you tell me now.
Sure.
I have no like baseline for what's reality anymore. Mm-hmm. So anything you tell me is true. I'm just going to go, okay, either you're nuts or you're right.
Yeah. And while the antics are fun and like the vibes...
It is very full of antics and vibes.
The vibes are cool. And I like Zatanna. It's not anything like, I don't know. It's not anything transcendent.
This does not form an arc.
Yeah.
This is not a good. I wish you'd read more of this. You had the time. I'm surprised you didn't.
Did I?
Because this is.
March was so busy.
This was not. You didn't continue anything I gave you, so you could have continued this.
I was reading middle grade March stuff.
I
was getting second place.
Very proud of himself. This is a webtoon, and so it wasn't, I feel, published as like...
Yeah, it's
This is just the first 11 episodes.
It's not published with a trend in mind.
It's very manga-based in terms of like, this is just where we stop.
This is where we stopped, yeah.
So yeah, this isn't a very satisfying standalone. It doesn't get to the end of an arc or the end of an investigation or anything. It's just, here's a fourth of this story.
There's a fourth of the story.
So yeah, I do definitely think you should read more. I have not finished this one, although we do own all of it.
Okay.
Because I had some money and I knew I was enjoying it and I couldn't read it on Webtoons anymore. So I read a good portion of it when it was online. I stopped somewhere in volume 2 or volume 3. I'm not exactly sure. So
I will check out more, just not right now.
I am planning on possibly doing a whole month of reading nothing but Zatanna stories. So.
Dang, all right. Probably a lot that I've already looked at though, right?
Some of it.
And the last one we have is Lockjaw Avengers Assemble. I gave this one 3 stars.
You're starting with that even before your notes.
Yeah, I gave this one 3 stars. I want to rip the Band-Aid off. I said it's 2 amusing super animal stories. The first was pretty straightforward, straightforward fetch quest, and then I wrote lol in parentheses.
Fetch quest.
And then the second story was fine. But I don't think either are going to stick with me long term.
The first one is exactly what I want my random animal team-ups to be. They go around, there's a bunch of cameos by a bunch of different Marvel places and Marvel people. Sure. You get to see all these little corners of the Marvel universe.
But you don't see Miss Marvel, who canonically had Lockjaw as a pet.
I don't think she did at this point. I don't think when this came out she did, so...
It's a shame. So yeah, it was like a world hopping story where they were going and getting the Infinity Stones, and then something exciting happens at the end, and it ends.
No, the first story is everything I wanted. It felt very Marvel. Mm-hmm. It feels very entrenched in the Marvel universe, like it belongs there, and like it interacts with other parts of Marvel.
I will say I think the best thing about this comic is learning how absolutely insane Throg's backstory is.
Throg is amazing.
It's such a ridiculous backstory. There's no reason why he talks the way he does.
There is not.
There's no reason why he's Norse themed.
He's not. Yeah, the
And
second.
no one seems at all aware. Like no one seems to comment on this at all.
Yeah. The second story, I just flipped through to remind myself which one it was, because I have like 4 of these. Was very
Hey,
comic stuff.
second story felt very like never-ending story. Honestly.
I mean, kinda, yeah, it's very fantasy. But I felt it was very because it isn't very Marvel Universe centric, right? It's off on its own, dealing with these same characters, mostly, without picking up on the dangling thread it left at the end of the first one.
Yeah, if you're hoping for continuity from your cute animal minis,
when they're written by the same people, I sure am.
like I think this is just something that they're like, all right, man, it's like it's the second quarter, we got to get something for the kids, something cute that will sell a little bit, and they're like, Lockjaw.
Look at this pupper.
Animal Adventures. That's what
pupper.
they're wanting you to do.
At this pupper.
That's what they want you to do. And then they're going to pick it up. But I don't feel like they're going to be like, okay, like, next crossover, all animals. Next big crossover event.
Of course not, but, like, you can still tell a good story with the animals.
Right.
Like, and again, I have more of these.
I'm just saying I don't think there's going to be any continuity. I think all the stories will just be like whatever vibes we're into at the moment.
And I did give you the one that doesn't have as many of the newer ones that are in the movies.
Okay.
Like, there's another one I have that has Lucky and Goose and Redwing.
Yeah, because they're in the
they're in
films,
vogue right now. Yeah,
so they're popular. I'm sorry for dashing all your hopes.
I'm sad
and
you
dreams.
didn't like this one.
Yeah, I know.
I understand why you gave Steins Gate 3 stars. I'm sad you gave this one 3 stars. I gave this one 5 stars because I love cute animal things.
Okay. Even though you admit that the second story is not really that great. Okay.
It was still fun and I loved reading it.
Okay.
5 stars is not greatest quality comic of all time. 5 stars is I really loved it.
Fair enough.
And I did.
Okay.
Despite its flaws.
All right. So overall, pretty good. I would recommend most of these to someone.
To someone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing I recommend to everybody.
Do you remember what you gave the stuff last year?
No. I would imagine they were probably higher, but I don't remember what they were.
Failed this year.
No, that's not true.
I gave you Anxious People last year.
Anxious People was really good. Made me read another book. But hey, the Neverending Story makes you want to read like an entire genre, so there's that. All right, so stats. Not really stats. Best 2, Neverending Story, Stardust Family. Read those. Those are great. I would recommend Neverending Story to almost everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know what person would not enjoy the fantasy romp that is Neverending Story.
Someone with no imagination.
I suppose. Stardust Family, really enjoyed that one.
So what's the end of your top 3? Which of the 4 stars did you enjoy the most?
Okay, so yeah, Neverending Story is at the top because it's the best one for sure. Stardust Family would be the second one, and then looking at the 4 stars, I would probably go with Apothecary Diaries because, like I said in my like write up, I think it could be 5 stars. It's just I can't tell from just a single volume. So could be 5 stars in the future.
Could be 5 stars.
Could be. Be fun.
Successful March Madness.
Successful March Madness. It was a lot of fun. I also, like I said, I read a couple more of the Nightwing.
Do you want to grab
stories.
those?
No, I won't grab them, but I want to talk about one at
Okay.
least, including the issue that is all one panel, and we were getting the super cool.
We're getting the Wingspan edition.
Wingspan edition that is all one
from the artist.
long panel of the entire story. And I would love to get it framed and put up somewhere, but I don't know where.
It would probably be easier to get 2 issues of the comic to frame it than the thing that's coming accordion folded, but...
Okay. Why 2 issues?
Because it's front and back.
Smart. But yeah, it joins several other recent titles in comics that are fun again.
Yeah.
Make comics fun again.
The
people.
Nightwing series is really fun. It does some fun things like the single panel issue.
Well, and that was an aspect of it when I read it last year that I really enjoyed. Was there were several of these moments, these layouts that were like
Kinetic
shadow
showing the motion.
Yeah. Like the it was like they would adjust the opacity basically.
Yeah.
And make like more and more transparent to be closer and
show
closer
the movement,
to the modern to the point in time we were at.
Yeah, I think the artist does a really good job at showing the kinetic movement, which is really important for Nightwing because like Nightwing is all about how he moves, and that's like a very grounded part of like where he came from. So that's important to his character.
Yeah, and the panel layouts are a lot of fun.
The dialogue's really good.
Yeah.
The banter's really fun.
Yeah, so I've been enjoying it. The Volume 2 was the Fear State
Volume 2 is not Volume 2.
crossover, so that kind of...
Fear State comes between Volumes 1 and Volume 2.
That
is how they are labeled on the actual volumes. I'm sorry. But Fear State comes between Volume 1 and Volume 2. That's how it works. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one was too disjointed. It was like, not only was it like Fear State, it was also this story.
It was like 3 different stories that they put in.
That I think is going to continued in Flash. So they're like, here's a story that you won't ever hear the ending of. Because
and here's an annual.
Yep, and then at the end there's an annual. So, annual was the Christmas theme one, right?
It had the Christmas thing one, and I think it had the Dick and Jason story.
Okay.
I think that was part of that too.
All right.
I don't remember.
So they were. I mean, it was fun, but I think that second one really killed the momentum. Third one.
Well, because it's not meant to have the momentum. It's not part of the story.
Yeah, and so it killed it.
That's why it's not labeled number 2.
Okay. Anyway.
But you did say you were going to read everything we had, and you did not. So in some sense, you did not succeed in March Madness. You succeeded in the challenge I gave you, but not in the challenge you self-imposed yourself.
It's true. What am I going to do with my life?
Read more books. As penance, you must read more books.
Man, what a hardship.
What a hardship.
Thanks for coming by as we ramble
incoherently
about some books that my wife gave me. Considering how busy March was, I'm very glad that I was able to get through all these. It was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it again next year.
I don't know what I'm going to choose reading.
Not sure where we're going next year. I think next year is just going to be like full madness, like the dark version of this, where we're like, okay,
I hated this book. You have to read it now.
I can give you anything. All right.
Here's a book I hated. Now you have to read it. Here's
a thing that I feel is tailored only to me. I'm the only person who likes it, but now you're also going to read it.
I mean, that's literally what I gave you this year.
I hope your reading journey is going well. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so we can grow this corner of our BookTube community. And until the next one, take care.
Bye.